Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We are still trying to figure this out, so it's just a second.
It's our first time doing this.
Howdy from Italy. Oh my goodness. Good morning. Hi.
When
When do the flowers bloom? Hopefully soon. Oh my goodness.
There's a few blooming right now.
Okay. Good morning.
Hi everyone. My name is Ranger Freddy. Nice to be here.
My name is Ranger Jordan. Nice to be here as well.
Get a little too far. Get a little closer.
Hello. Yes, trying to keep a little bit of social distance. But so you'll be seeing my head coming in and out when I'm looking at the comments. Good evening from Germany. Oh my goodness. Hello. So one thing we want to let you know, we practiced the live stream this morning for the first time ever. So if we don't get to your comments, we apologize. We're going to do our very best, and we're going to hope to post this whole thing later to our Instagram TV section after we're all done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. From Iran. Ooh.
Okay, so
Brazil.
Start with the intros. Hello, Frozen Michigan. We'll split the difference with you.
Green Valley.
Hey, a local, relatively. Oh my goodness, look at all those little hearts. Thank y'all. We love the support. Does Instagram block comments? Cool. That'll help us out.
Puerto Rico, saludos.
And Texas. Oh my goodness. You're gonna hate
From
me after
Italia,
this.
Italy. All
New
right.
Hampshire. Hello from LA. Hey, there you go.
LA, I was born there. I grew up here in Tucson, but I was born in LA.
There you go. Hello from Florida. Hello. Thank you. We think it's beautiful. We're a little biased though.
All right. So Jordan, while we're getting all these comments, so how did Freddy Friday start? Whose idea was this?
What a wonderful loaded question. So last year, early 2021, we've been in the pandemic for a year now. We had, unfortunately, we still aren't really doing a lot of programs. And so the interpretive side of our jobs was severely lacking in our opinion. We feel like we weren't really able to do our jobs well and bring you our love of the Sonoran Desert. And I happen to be managing the Instagram and a couple other platforms. And while we can't do things like TikTok or some other platforms, I thought, well, we could still introduce short video content. And this guy over here has always been really good in front of people, in front of the camera, and just going off on the cuff. If you ask him a question, he's got the elevator pitch for it ready. Whether it's kangaroo rats, wolf spiders, you name it, he loves it. So I thought, let's put the two together and see what happens. And sure enough, it was a hit, and we've been growing ever since. Thanks to all your love.
Yeah, thanks for your support. It's been a year now that we've been doing Freddy Fridays and Feature Fridays, and it's been incredible. We never thought it was going to be this popular, and in the process, we're also learning a lot. And we get to go out there and immerse ourselves in the desert and see things we normally don't see, and talk about all these magical plants and animals that call the Sonoran Desert home. And for us, it's fun. We love this. It's awesome.
All right. We got a question. Are you seasonal or permanent? So we are both permanents. Freddy is a part-time permanent. I am a full-time permanent.
Mm-hmm.
So
4 days a week, 5 days a week. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Mm-hmm. Of course. Yeah. Do you have any questions? I see. Thanks for putting us first. We love it. Your videos are great. Aw, thank you.
Thanks. How much time you put into the content?
Oh, well, it says thanks so much for all the time you put in the content. Yeah, we want to make sure that it is as quality as we can do in the time that we're limited. Each video that you see as of the last couple of months at least is pretty much done on a week-to-week basis, usually with a day or two of time to work on it. We're hoping, and we're gonna have a little bit of news on that later, but we're hoping to ramp it up so we have a lot more content ready to go for you.
Yes.
Is the park open right now? Yes, it is. Yep, we are open 7 days a week. The building itself is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but you can pretty much enjoy the park as long as the sun is up. Mm-hmm. How does one get into becoming a ranger? Oh, that's a great question. You want to take this one?
Sure. This is how it worked with me. I started as a volunteer. That's how I got my foot in the door. I was a volunteer for a year and a half, and then I became an intern through the Friends Group internship program, Next Generation Ranger Corps. I was an intern for about 2 years, and eventually that led I got the skills and experience necessary to get a permanent position with the National Park Service, and that was 5 years ago. College, that you have a bachelor's degree, that helps a lot too. I did a combination of experience and college to get in, and that's the path that worked for me. How about you, Jordan?
So I took the volunteer to internship route. I was a student over at the University of Arizona for 4 years. I did a little bit of volunteering here with education, which is over that way, but my main foot in the door was internships. So I started with just a basic kind of environmental science internship at the school, which happened to have a gateway here to the park, and then I saw what they have is called the next gen program I was able to get into, which was a big foot in the door. But the one that really helped me the most, it's called a pathways position. You have to be a student, but you also are technically a federal ranger. And basically you do your job well, you meet all your performance reviews and all that. When you graduate, you're able to roll into a position or they'll help find you a position somewhere else. So that was the biggest thing for me. But there are a lot of different ways to get into the Park Service.
Yeah.
You could do, like we said, volunteer and internship. You could do previous military work. There's a lot of different ways. There was a lot of questions that went through. I saw one of them was, we'll be doing videos on Sonora National Park East. We're trying our best to get as much of that East content. The problem is, we're permanent rangers here on the West District, and the East District is an hour away. So one, for us to go over there to take a video or whatnot, it's a minimum of 2 hours of driving time just to get there and back. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people on our social media staff that work over there that have the time available. We have a lot of great people that help, like Olivia is one of the people that helps here on our Instagram. Keely also. However, they're not quite in the intern department. They're in our natural resources. So they're doing a lot of really great work, doing research outside. So unfortunately, I don't always have all the time in the world.
Once we get a little more time, we'll try to head over there, definitely. What other questions do we have?
Let's see. Let's try and see if we can find any that we
completely missed.
How to become a camp host at a national park? That's a great question that we probably couldn't answer for you because we only have a select number of campsites in Saguaro National Park, and they're all in the East District, and you got to hike up. We don't really have like a specific camp host for our campsites, so we wouldn't be the best to answer.
There's no RV camping in the park at all.
Oh my goodness, we had someone from ASU try and comment on here. We try not to block our followers, but you got to make an exception every once in a while. No, we love our ASU buddies up north. Let's see. Did you get a degree? So, I got a degree. It's one of those things that it definitely helps a lot, but it's not always, if you got a specific degree for natural resources, let's say as a biotech or something, it definitely could help. But stuff like interpretation or other divisions that aren't super specialized, this sounds kind of bad, but it's really just a piece of paper that they want. They don't always care about what it is. It sounds like my degree is very specific to this. It's environmental science. I have actually never really used that degree here, working here. I've used a lot more of my customer service experience, my time in sales and marketing than I have ever used my science degree. That is a really expensive piece of paper.
I studied criminal justice, and I got a certificate for crime scene forensics technology. And once I got a job, actually, I got married and I stopped going to college, so I still haven't completed college. So there's ways to get in with some education and experience. It's definitely hard and challenging, but there's definitely ways to get in. Let's see.
How long does it take to make a video? Ooh, so it used to take quite a while. I've gotten much better at the editing process. So the way we pretty much do it now, for example, let's say it's one of Freddy's videos and not one of our Feature Fridays. Freddy will go out. We've already talked about the theme or the concept. He'll go out and shoot the video. How long does it take for you from shooting to getting me the footage?
It depends on the content, on the topic, but it can be anywhere from a couple hours to 4 hours. I gotta go to different locations in the park.
Yep. And then he used to just give me all the files and I would mess with it myself. We've streamlined it now, so he'll cut it all down to the specific lengths that we need. If there's any additional B-roll or images or text that needs to be added, and then I will take all that, put it together into a nice, pretty video. I will clean up the audio, which tends to be one of the longer processes now. If there's ever wind or a plane sound, I try and take that out of the file. Additionally, adding the graphics and all that. And then captions, which we thankfully have a service to help us with that now. It cuts down my time a lot. So I would say all in all, from you starting a film to me being done with the actual editing process, anywhere from 6 hours to a whole work day.
8 hours.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if there's Crested Caracaras, which is a type of falcon in the park. We have seen them in the edge, nesting on saguaros, banded red-tailed hawk nest. But they're not very common. They're pretty rare, but they are in the area, and they're a pretty awesome bird. And somebody was asking about your friend, Ember.
I did see that. Yeah, Ranger Ember is doing great. Thank you for asking. For those of you who may not be familiar, Ranger Ember is my bearded dragon. I have had him for about 6 or 7 years now. He's a big one. He's about 22 or 23 inches long, and he's doing great. It's winter time, so he's currently in what we call brumation. It means he's pretty tired and sleepy a lot, but he's doing great. I saw a question. Oh, hello from France. I saw a question about where do we get the topics and concepts. When we first started, a lot of it was just what we really enjoyed, what we liked and wanted to talk about the most. But as we continued on, we'd get questions and comments from all of you, and you'd pull from that. A little while ago, we did 1 week where we just asked you to give us the content ideas. But we really wanted to know what you wanted to learn about. And we've been trying to work through that. We got about 170 responses. Yeah. So we're trying to consolidate those down. But yeah, you know what people are interested in. That's what we're trying to do.
What did I do?
What'd you do, Freddy?
There you go.
Okay, so we're trying to get through here. Subjects. Oh, now I did it. Wow, a dragon. Yes, indeed. Oldest saguaro in the park. So we don't have an official one right now that we're aware of. And it always seems like it's Murphy's Law that when we find it, it dies a couple of years later. But the oldest one we ever had in the park was the Granddaddy Saguaro.
Granddaddy Saguaro, estimated to have lived 300 years. It's found in the mid-1990s. It was at the East District of Saguaro National Park. I believe it had like 48 arms, so it was massive. That's the biggest one we've ever had on record here at Saguaro National Park. Right now we have lots of density. We have 2 million saguaros in the park, but not super big one. The tallest one in the West District is 44 feet tall, and I think the tallest one in the East is about the same height. Yeah.
I saw a desert collab with a Sonoran Desert Museum collab one. We are also very interested in that. Hey, there is a Sonoran Desert Museum if you're watching this or see this later. How you doing? We are working on that. I can't promise anything, but I will just say I'll pull a Ryan Reynolds and say we're not doing it. And I also saw about Sonoran Desert birds. We'll talk to that in a second because I'm sure Freddie will want to go a lot into that. But how did we start working together?
It's a long story.
We just were. Yeah, we just happened to be in the same office and.
Same office. Started what? You started like 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Over 5.
Over 5? Oh, it's been that long already?
I know. But yeah, we've, he's a pretty good dude. I figured I could hang around.
Jordan is fun. He's funny. No, it's, we work in the same office, so we work like 3-4 days a week together, and we just have good chemistry, and it works fine. Let's see, somebody had questions about birds. For being a desert, we do have a lot of bird species. It's just in this area, there's about 200 bird species. Normally, there's more species in the east side because in the East District, you go from a desert to a pine forest once you go into higher elevation. The highest peak goes higher than 8,000 feet elevation. So there's birds up there that we don't have here in the desert scrub area in the West District. So I would say the East District has about 50 more bird species than we do here in the West. But let's see, any other specific questions about birds? But we do have lots of species. We have a lot of owls. We have some unique bird species that are found only in the Southwest, like our state bird, the cactus wren. It's amazing. We got curlew thrasher. We got the paraloxia, the world's smallest owl, the alpha owl. They're about yay big, cute little owls. They like to nest in a saguaro hole. Let's see.
We got a question about how old, or how do we determine how old they get?
Ooh.
So the quick answer is the only way to officially determine how old a saguaro is if you know exactly when the seed is planted. Beautiful as they are, they don't come with anything like a tree ring or whatnot to show you how old they are, so there's no definitive way. But general rules of thumb for non-researchers, some things we do. You'll see this one's a perfect example. See where it starts to dip in a little bit? We call that a saguaro waist. And basically what happened is when the saguaro was roughly that tall, it froze a little bit. There was a freeze in the area, it constricted the tissue growth at the top of the saguaro, and it creates that little divot. Additionally, I don't know if you can see it from that far away, but when a saguaro's pleats, the pleat going up and down goes from 1 to 2 or 2 to 3, separates, that tells us that there was excess amount of water that year. So the saguaro is adapting by allowing itself to get bigger or smaller. So things like that, or kind of we call them saguaro scars per se, those correlate to weather events. So by looking in past weather records, you can correlate. Let's say, oh, the last major freeze was in 74. I don't think that's how it was, but for example, we could say that, oh, well, that happened in 74, so it's had that much growth in that amount of time. And that's how we would determine it. All right. Again, we do want to apologize if we don't get to everybody's comment. We're doing everything we can, but we are also feeling older by the minute as we do this.
Hi to Rocky Mountain National Park.
Hey! Ooh. What's up? We keep clicking on the comments, and it opens up the text thread, and we don't want to type a comment. We just want to touch the comment. I hope y'all are getting a good laugh at us right now. Hello from Germany.
Ooh. I love Bayern Munich.
Turkeys, we do have turkeys here, but they're in a little bit higher elevation. So you'd see them in the Rincon Mountains or up on Mount Lemmon. You will not see them around here. If you do, call us, because it's not normal. Hello for Catalinas. Hello from a French national park. Ooh, we should swap one week. You can come work out here and we'll work out there.
Ooh, good idea.
Be completely not acclimated in both.
Ooh, snakes to look out for. I love snakes. So we have 25 species of snakes in the park, and I love snakes. There's 6 species of rattlesnakes found here in the West District. There's one that's only found in the West District, which is a sidewinder rattlesnake, and only one that's found in the East District, which is the Arizona black rattlesnake. And then the other 5 are found in both districts. They're out and about. We've seen them around, and for the most part, our snakes are pretty docile. In the last 10 years, only one person's been bit by a rattlesnake. So if you see one, consider yourself lucky. Take a picture from a safe distance. And yeah, I mean, there's people that come from all over the world looking for rattlesnakes to see them out here in the wild, and they don't get the chance to see it. So if you do see one, you consider yourself lucky and enjoy it from a safe distance. They're not going to chase you. They're not aggressive. That's not what they do. They're terrified of us because we're big animals. And normally they sense our vibrations when we're getting close, and they either camouflage or sometimes they'll rattle. They don't always rattle. And since we're talking about rattlesnakes, Jordan has had an experience with one recently.
Hi. Yes, I love the rattlesnakes around here. I am the crazy ranger that will periodically lay down in front of them. Do not do that. It is very dangerous. But I've owned a lot of snakes, and while it's still not safe, I'm very comfortable with their body language, and so I'm never going to get anywhere near one if I think it's agitated. And of course, I'm never going to bother it either way. When I take a picture, I'm still like 8 feet away. But yes, we just had one. What was it? Last week? Wednesday, after early in the morning, just here at the visitor center. I was walking down into the Javelina Wash, and someone mentioned, they said, hey, there's a snake. Sure enough, it was stretched out on that first rock, just warming up. Grabbed a bucket, grabbed the tongs, took it on its way. But they are out. We got a couple questions. One about blooms. We are starting to get into blooming right now. So things like the fairy duster is blooming, the brittle bush. Saguaros themselves probably won't start until
mid-April.
And then my favorite one we got, what is the temperature range? So in the winter, it can get freezing overnight. In the daytime, I'd say it averages, 40 to 60, depending on the day.
Yes. For this month, the average high is supposed to be 69 degrees, and we've had high 70s, so it's been above average.
And then as far as the summer, that one's the fun one. We've both lived here pretty much our entire lives, and the fun thing about the summer, especially if you're not from here and you're looking up on the news and it says Phoenix or Tucson temperature, one thing to consider is that temperature is taken in the shade. Anybody out here or has been here knows that that's a very big deal. We have, the humidity is different here. It's usually single digits or really low. So because of that, if you're in the shade, it could be 10 to 15 degrees cooler than it is out in the sun. When it says 120 on the news, it could easily be 130 something if you're standing out on the sidewalk or on a trail. Something to consider. With that in mind, I do regularly bake things in my car. As any of you who have been around for a while have noticed from last summer, we baked cookies. Last summer I baked 4 batches of cookies and a batch of bell peppers in my car. Best smelling car ever. But it does get pretty warm.
Were the cookies good?
The cookies were delicious. They were perfect. They were crispy on the outside, squishy on the inside. Amazing.
So let's see, we have had some couple questions. Can you plant an arm if it falls off and it breaks?
I've been told you can, but it's really, really,
hard,
really difficult.
It is.
Like, very difficult. The only person that I've ever heard do it was our botanist. He works for the park. So.
For the most part, it's unsuccessful. You get better luck with like prickly pear pads, where you take out a pad and you plant it on the ground, and it will take root, and you have a whole prickly pear plant growing.
I was about to say, our answer about the yes but very hard is only Saguaro specific.
Yeah.
Choyas, prickly pear, other cacti routinely break off arms to plant. So let's, how do I get flat hats that fit correctly? Oh, I wish that I could answer this question offhand right now. It is such a weird, funny thing. So offices usually have, or they should have somewhere, a hat fitting guide. I don't know, our boss got it one time, but it's just a box full of like pressboard squares, big pressboard squares.
There was a cancellation of 2 people on your house.
And each one has the number of the hat engraved into it. I'm gonna take off my hat for purpose. Don't make fun of me. My hair looks terrible right now. Okay.
That does not.
It's kind of bad. Thank you, Shadows, for helping me out. So in here, there's a little thing. I don't know if you can see it. That little tag down there, that says 7.5. So, and it says LO, or long oval, meaning I got a long ovally head. See, look at that giant head. So what you have to do with these squares that have holes in them, and the hole is the shape of the hat. And so you just put this square on your head until one fits. And I will admit that mine is too loose. I got mine when I still had a lot longer hair, and now it's kind of just really younger. You're younger than me. It's no, okay, yes. It's not about age. Okay. Elevation range
in the park. Ooh. Elevation ranges from a desert scrub area of 25,000 feet elevation to 8,666 feet at the east side. That's the highest peak, which is Mica Mountain. So you can hike through all these different life zones from a desert scrub. You pass 6 different habitats, ecosystems. It's like driving from northern Mexico to central Canada. You pass through all of that. Desert scrub, desert grassland. You got oaks, junipers, pine forests, mixed conifer forests. The biodiversity of flora and fauna in Saguaro National Park is amazing. I like to say we do have more species of mammals found in Saguaro National Park than Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone has the big animals. We have a lot of tiny mammals like rodents and bats. Let's see what else.
Okay. We're not letting the comments roll through like normally. We're trying to get through them all, which probably is not how we should be doing this. But
wildlife.
So while I go through this, what wildlife would you see hiking this time of year?
Wildlife right now, so rattlesnakes and lizards are active. It's becoming warm, so you will definitely see lizards, and lizards attract birds like roadrunners that will eat the lizards. And then snakes come out hungry, so they're pretty hungry after kind of hibernating. What's it called, like estivation or torpor?
Torpor.
Yeah. And they come out hungry, so they're active. Birds are pretty active. The weather is awesome. So here at Javelina Wash, next to the visitor center, you can come in the morning. You can see like 20 species of birds. Lesser goldfinches are out in flocks. Black-throated sparrows, white-crowned sparrows pass through here and go through higher elevations. Javelinas are active in the daytime. Mule deer are pretty active as well. I mean, there's just so much wildlife going on. Those are the ones you might see out there. The rare ones are like the badgers, ringtails. Skunks are pretty rare. Or the desert raccoon. What other questions we have?
Rivalries with rangers in other parks. We love them all. I will say that was one of the first things I ever got introduced to when I started doing social media. Was I was introduced to the team the week we did the Park Sunset Wars, and that was a wonderful thing. And I saw Joshua Tree chiming in, so hey Joshua Tree, love you. We did get apparently.
Any bears?
There are bears up in the higher elevations on the Rincon Mountains. You won't see them much down here. So be careful up here. We did get some specific questions. I don't know these. So we got 3 pointed out questions. I don't know how these work, but we're going to answer. What type of experience or qualifications do you need to be a park ranger? So that kind of depends on what job you're going for.
What type of ranger?
Yeah, there's, it's not like it was quite back in the day where you're just a park ranger. There's law enforcement divisions now, there's administration, fees, natural resources, interpretation, which is what we do, maintenance, and you can kind of assume that with those different divisions, you're going to have different qualifications. Obviously, interpretation, you want to have people skills.
Yep.
Be good on the fly, be able to answer questions, be personable, be friendly.
Lead tours.
Don't lose too many people on your guided tours, stuff like that. But, we did mention degrees a little bit earlier. If you're going to a specialty, like if you're going into a natural resource or something, that could help. But honestly, good work attitude and a lot of drive, a lot of personal drive is going to help. And a long resume. That was the biggest thing that took me.
Yeah.
So you're taught in school, and we're always taught growing up, you want to have a 1-page resume. Don't make it longer than the page. My resume is 13 pages. Why? It's got the same information.
You gotta add all the details, how many tours you've done, experiences, skills. Let's see.
We also had, do Saguaro Rangers ever switch between working in the East and West?
No.
Not
for the most
really.
part, no. We wish we did.
At least at our level.
Yes.
So when you're going up higher level, like supervisors or chiefs or whatnot, maybe maintenance, natural resources, they're more often because, you're studying both parts. But
LE, they go both districts, law enforcement rangers.
Yeah, we specifically don't really. Interp is kind of side specific. And then the last of these 3 specific questions, what made you want to be a ranger? That's a very great question. Do you want me to do it first?
You go first.
Contemplate? Okay. So it's easier for me because I didn't want to become a ranger at first. I didn't know what it was. Long story short, not giving you a whole backstory, but I used to work at Lowell Observatory up in Flagstaff. I was getting my degree in astrophysics. I really liked astronomy. And, I was doing work in the daytime, and then at night when they had their actual visitation and exhibits, I would help out there. Essentially doing what a ranger does, answering questions, giving tiny tours, where's the bathroom, stuff like that. And one person asked, man, you'd be a really good park ranger. And at the time, I was a lot younger. I was like, I don't know what that is because my parents didn't really take me to parks. I didn't know. I looked into it. When I first saw all of this, I was like, oh, probably at the military, right? Nope. I looked into it more and started researching, found the various internships I mentioned earlier, and after a long process of working through internships, volunteering, and studying, I was able to become a ranger here. But the love of sharing a passion for knowledge was what really just inspired me to jump into this.
All right, my turn. I'll try to make it pretty short too. My family's been living in the Sonoran Desert for as long as we can remember. It's been at least over 200 years. And they're from Sonora, Mexico, part of the Sonoran Desert. And as a kid, I would go every summer and visit my grandparents. I would stay there the whole summer break. So I grew up in the city, and in the summer I was at the countryside in a ranch in Mexico. In a small town, population less than 2,000. Either way, the memories I most cherish and magical moments I had in the desert with my family were in the Sonoran Desert. And working out here, I get to preserve and protect a section of it for the enjoyment and education of everyone, and for conservation reasons. And it reminds me of my family, of their legacy. They left me a legacy, their love of the Sonoran Desert. And I just want to do my part to conserve this area. I love this place. It's home. I'm learning a lot about it. There's so much to learn. I can spend my whole life here and not know or learn everything. It's impossible. It's just so much going on. And it's an honor and a blessing to be part of this mission with the National Park Service, with rangers like Jordan. And it's fun. I did it for free once. Now I get paid for it. So it's cool. That's the short version of it. And plus, I do love all the animals, all the plants, and so forth.
Careful with your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Earthquakes. So it's gonna be stressing out over here. I see a question or a comment, and I don't like it. I don't like this negativity going on. I feel like it's too late for me to be a ranger. Sad face. Never. No. It is not too late. In fact, how often do you get told, "Wow, y'all so young to be a ranger"? Like we are in the much younger side of rangers. We're very fortunate in that regard. With that being said, regardless of how old you are, if you're still 6 feet over and not 6 feet under, we will take you. If nothing else, even if you want to start as a volunteer, desperately need the work. The Park Service is wholeheartedly run by volunteers. We would not be able to operate without them. While it's not paid, it's definitely a good foot in the door, and you get to see if you like the work before dedicating your career to it. But it's an option, Don't.
And I will say that I went to my first national park when I was 23 years old, 24. I didn't know what national park was, just like Jordan, and I grew up right next to one in my backyard. So it's never late.
On a similar note, do you ever stay at the same park, or do rangers get transferred around? At our level, we don't really get transferred. It's like another job. We have to apply when there's an opening. When you get to higher up levels, like chiefs and superintendents and all that, they do have a little bit more leeway, and region or the higher ups can go, hey, we need you to work here for a little while, and it's called the detail. You may have heard those terms before, or like acting chiefs or acting supervisors. That's what that would kind of entail.
Yeah, and I plan on working only in this park. So this is home. I don't plan on working in a different national park. I'm staying here at Saguaro National Park.
I'm not. I plan on. In fact, for any of you who are familiar with this, my sleeve, the whole goal is to have different parks and different places I work at grow. And so, fingers crossed, it goes from desert to ocean, because that's what I want, but we'll see how it goes. Nobody ever gets exactly what they want. Hold on. And we're going to try and get through some of these.
We went to Saguaro National Park in the fall. We loved it. It's a good time of year to come out here. Weather's lovely for hiking.
So let's get all the way. Our tarantulas out.
Ooh,
not yet, unfortunately. Either the best time to see them or the best time to avoid them and stay home is going to be the fall. Like October is when they're most out. So September through November, avoid the area if you don't like tarantulas.
Some of the critters that are coming out, I don't know if you can see, are scorpions. I love scorpions. We have the biggest species found in the U.S., the giant hairy scorpion. We have the Arizona bar scorpion, considered the most dangerous scorpion in the U.S., actually in North America. And then we have the common strap-tailed scorpion. So these guys are starting to come out. Not tarantulas yet.
With that, I got to be the bearer of bad news. We have been having a lot of fun. We're going to wrap this up in about 8 minutes. Okay. Just a heads up for anybody who's still there. We're going a little bit past, but we're going to go till 12:40. Love the parks too much. We love them too. We're a little biased.
We are. All national parks are awesome. They're all unique.
You're adorable. Thank you for your time. I mean, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for everyone here.
Ooh,
so I mean, thank
Scott,
you.
I'm so excited for saguaro blooms in May. Yep, you'll see some in May. After the monsoon, it's going to be amazing. The monsoons is my favorite time of year. That's when you have this desert, right? You have a dry period, whereas normally May and June is the dry summer. Then you have the wet summer during the monsoons, and that's when everything comes to life. All the wildlife, you see all the animals coming out. They're all thirsty. All the plants turn green. That's when I see the most wildlife, is during the monsoon season, especially after a rainfall. So you want to see wildlife? Come during the monsoons. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, I love and hate driving in during the monsoons because usually the morning after, it's super wet everywhere, which is fine. But that's when all the millipedes, the tarantulas, all the little things are coming out. And I'm the person that'll take 4 hours on a 1 mile hike because I stop every time I see a small bit of movement. And I'm like, oh, there's a bug. Oh, there's another bug. There's another. And meanwhile, people behind me are, and I'm like, but it's a millipede. Anyway.
Yeah, Jordan and I, we love critters.
What is the best cactus and why is it a saguaro? I mean, you answered your own question. I will, you know what? I'm going to tell them my favorite saguaro.
Okay, go for it.
My favorite saguaro is not super big. It doesn't have a ton of arms. It's just really unique. Now, if you ever come out here to the west side and you're driving over Gates Pass, you'll notice that each pull-off is numbered. It says G something. My favorite one is at G7. If you ever wanted to visit, it's on the north side of Gates Pass, or the road. Just at the base on the west side of the mountain. Once you park, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. It's this cool looking saguaro that looks like Paul Bunyan took a shotgun to it. Got like 40 holes in it. And some of them you can see right through. They've met on each side. And it's just super cool. And I also love that it's still thriving with essentially nature's buckshot gone through it.
I don't have a favorite saguaro. I think all saguaro, which they are all unique. They all have their own personality. That's what I love about them. I will say I love what the saguaro represents. It's a symbol of the Southwest. But I love the Oregon pipe cactus fruit. That's my favorite cactus fruit, but my favorite cactus in general, or cacti, is the saguaro.
Is this a competitive job?
Ooh.
It can be, very much so. Yes, that is a bit of a deterrent, but unfortunately, it can be. It's apply for a lot of jobs. USAjobs.gov is probably the best option for you. I mean, bigger parks, of course, like Yosemite, Yellowstone. Those are ones that are gonna be really popular. Just make yourself competitive, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Somebody says, tell Syria say hi. Syria is actually at the visitor center working right now. We'll tell her you say hi. Somebody plans on doing law enforcement. That's great. Law enforcement is an option for me because I study criminal justice. I really like doing what I do now as an interpreter, talking about our stories, what makes this park special, and talking about the stories of the people, but also the plants and animals. And in the process, we're learning a lot about it. Plus, we get to interact with very positive visitors are eager and happy to be here. Oh, focus. Let's see.
Okay. About 4 minutes left. I know.
Crested. Ooh, yeah. Crested are awesome. What's your favorite
part of the job? Millipedes? No.
Tarantulas, scorpions.
I don't know. Honestly, this has been great. Like, this whole last year has been a really big learning experience for both of us. Being able to interact with all of you has been a pleasure. Starting to see repeated faces. But honestly, you get to work at a place like this. The drive in, most people don't get to enjoy their commute, so I love that. But just the people. People always make it. They can make it or break it, but at the end of the day, I just try and remember the great ones.
Yep, the visitors are eager to learn about this place. They're fun. People are on vacation, they're in a good mood, and that makes their day so much easier. So it's just interacting with people from all over the country, all these different countries. And then junior rangers, doing the junior ranger program, interacting with kids, and they always have the most unique questions. So I always look forward for interactions with junior rangers. And then there was another question about what's your least favorite thing about your job.
Well, my least favorite.
That's hard. I don't know what we can say.
not like that. No.
Honestly, I think we both wish there were more park rangers.
Yeah, I mean,
we definitely need more park rangers.
The thing is, I think the things that we specifically are the least favorite part of our jobs are not ranger specific. It's not like you're gonna necessarily experience them anywhere else. If that's the type of answer you're looking for, it took a lot to adjust to the bureaucracy of it. I came from food service and marketing, private industry, and so going to the government in general was a big learning curve for me. I had to learn how to slow down a little bit, realize that just because you submit something or paperwork or there's a project going on doesn't mean it's gonna get done immediately. And so be able to fill your time with more projects, or don't overload yourself, but be able to multitask. Yeah. And
somebody asked about if we have a lodge. We do not have a lodge. There's only backcountry campsites or camping allowed, and that's in the East District. There's no camping in the West District.
Show us the tattoos. Do you need a permit to hike the West or Park? You don't need a permit to hike. Well, you need a pass if you already have one, like a senior pass, annual pass, all that, or a day pass. The only permit you really need for East District is camping. You do need to reserve a spot.
The saguaro's blooming. Saguaro flowers are not blooming yet.
We had a question to show the tattoo. I have 8, so you get to see one of them because this is the one that's public. But it is my commemoration of getting this job and graduating. So I was a U of A Wildcat. You got the Wildcat skull, saguaro, and then some of my favorite plants: creosote, jojoba, and the aloe vera.
No agave there.
Can't show you the rest.
Favorite month of the year.
Favorite month of the year? Ooh, September, October, around here.
I would say the same. Well, no, I'm more of a monsoon type. So whenever the monsoon arrives, normally July, August.
Okay, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be the bearer of bad news, and we are cutting off our questions because we have an announcement. For the 69 of you watching right now, and for anybody of you who is going to watch later, 71 people, please don't hate us. But unfortunately, we are getting into our busy season. We've gotten into the busy season. Anybody who's been here knows it has been quite overloaded. And as mentioned, we're pretty much the rangers here on the West District as far as interp goes. We have seasonal and an intern. However, it's been getting really busy and we don't have a lot of time at the moment. So we are going to be cutting back on Freddy Fridays a bit.
And Feature Fridays.
And Feature Fridays. Pretty much the Friday video series. We're going to do our very, very best to make sure that we get at least one a month. We're going to try for two, but we can only really guarantee one a month at the moment. But we are going to be cutting back, and unfortunately, the worst part of the news, we're about to give a whole new definition to the term #March Madness because we're going to be taking a month off. We're going to take all of month of March off. Well, sort of. We're not going to post for all of March because we are going to be trying to ramp up our content. We want to get more videos backstocked. We want to get some ideas ready. Right now, like we mentioned way earlier on, it's just been week by week. We're just making them at the very last minute. And one, that's not fair to you because we want that quality to be up there. And two, we want to make sure that we're getting the most accurate information. So we're going to take a little bit of time and we're going to come back blaring, ready to go, and we do have a surprise for when we get back. It's a really good thing. So.
Yep. And then I'd like to say a shout out to my oldest daughter. It's her birthday today. I know she's watching. And so, hi, Kateri. I love you. See you later. And thank you guys for watching. And we will still keep posting posts on Instagram. It's just no Feature Fridays or Freddy Fridays for a month.
We did get a question, and it's great. It's the last one I'm going to answer because it's related to this. Can you watch our old videos? Yes. All of our videos are going to still be on our Instagram, but we understand that that's pretty cumbersome to try and scroll through all of them and see which one is which. So if you go to our YouTube channel, which when you go to YouTube, you just type in capital S, Saguaro, NPS. So the S and the NPS are capitalized. It's all one word. Saguaro NPS on YouTube. That's our channel. Got the little logo just like on here. We have an entire playlist dedicated to Freddy Friday. And we will miss you too. Promise we're not going away. I'm going to still be trying to post to our Instagram, but like I said, it might not be as much as we usually do. So.
Yeah, and we'll miss you too. So just 1 month, you'll get a break from us as well.
Hold on, let's get one where we're both in the shot. Well. Okay, well, we love you all. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for your time, support, and we'll be back shortly. Take over the #March Madness post. Let's see all those basketball fans being like, well, what's about these Rangers? Why is this? Anyway, we love you. Have a great day.
Love you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.